Good evening to all Miss Philippine Earth followers joining us online. My name is Nelo Sherbaji, your host, and welcome to the presentation of delegates vying for the title of Miss Philippines Earth 2022. It has been the pageant tradition to highlight different aspects of the environment each year. For 2022, Miss Philippines Earth walks on the wild side as it puts the spotlight on the country's endemic species, some of which are facing extinction. And in tonight's presentation, you'll get to know more about the beauty of the Philippine wildlife and, of course, the timeless beauty of a Filipina. So this year's delegate comes from various parts of the country, each one ready to showcase her unique personality, captivating charm, and the love for Earth. And for tonight's event, we have a very special guest. Are you guys excited to know who it is? So he's a process and improvement management in one of the country's top BPO companies, a pageant enthusiast, and the Crown Philippines Marketing and Communication Manager. Let us welcome Mr. Christian Baking. Everybody give a round of applause.
Hi, Nayla. Hello, everyone. Hello, ladies. Good evening. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again. Ever gorgeous.
Thank you so much. You look great as well. I mean, by the way, guys, he owns Crown. Crown is actually one of my favorite pageant pages, so make sure to check it out. I'm really eyeing to see who he's gonna put as one of his spotlights this year. So anyways, moving on. So without further ado, let us go on with the presentation, beginning with our first delegate, Miss Antipolo.
Hello there. Am I audible?
Yes.
Let's start. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. I am Sus Cruz, your green candidate representing Antipolo City. And for today's video, I am about to share with you all today my fauna of choice. So to start with, the Philippines bears a distinction as one of the 17 countries considered to be mega diverse, covering 70 to 80% of the entire planet's biodiversity. So that is how rich we are. In fact, marine biologists call the Philippine Sea as quote unquote center of aquatic biodiversity, covering a major portion of the Coral Triangle. But now we are going to be focusing on the explosively beautiful Taal Lake. So not only is this is known as one of the world's smallest active volcanoes, but can you believe it has its own biodiversity? Like once there was even a time when sharks, literal sharks, swam the Taal Lake. So not only is it home to the tawilis, the world's only known freshwater sardine species, but it is also home to my fauna, which is the Lake Taal snake. So scientifically known as the Hydrophis semperi and locally known as the Duhol matapang, it is the perfect example of don't judge a book by its cover, because it is one of the only 2 freshwater sea snakes in the world. But don't let the sea snake fool you, for it is also venomous, though they're generally docile. So both the tawilis and the Lake Taal snake, here, I forgot to change. So both the tawilis and Lake Taal snake are distinct examples of how nature and biodiversity works. So Taal Lake was once an arm of Balayan Bay, which opens to the West Philippine Sea. However, its frequent eruptions brought drastic changes in the surrounding landscape, so resulting in the isolation and eventual formation of Taal Lake. So before there was salt water, now there is fresh water. So this new ecosystem led some species to adapt and of course, evolve in order to survive. So that included the tawilis and the Lake Taal snake. Unfortunately, not much is known about the Lake Taal snake, as this tends to be more overshadowed by the more known and more economically valued tawilis. The IUCN has listed this species as vulnerable, but as of now, there is still no species-specific conservation measures as of today. That's why a friendly reminder to all whom it may concern, whatever you do when encountering this snake, do not kill it. Take every precaution necessary, and most of all, yes, do not kill it, because in the same way that fish are friends, not food, snakes are friends, not foes. That will be all.
Thank you, Miss Antipolo. That was a really fun fact for me. I actually hiked in Antipolo and Taal Lake before. I didn't know that there are any snakes. After the whole incident in 2019, are there still snakes right now there, like in this very moment?
Yes, there are still snakes around. But then, of course, the IUCN listed the species as vulnerable since 2008. Okay. So mainly due to the negative stigma surrounding snakes. But yeah, that is why we have to focus on preserving it and not killing it, because that is not the ideal solution to conserving them.
I completely agree. Sir Christian, would you have any questions for Miss Antipolo?
Of course. Hi, Miss Antipolo. Good evening. It's a very interesting presentation. Because you mentioned something about not killing animals for the sake of conserving them. But my question is, do you believe in the one welfare concept that recognizes the direct link between animal welfare and human well-being? Because I understand that it's part of the community. Animals are part of the community, and you mentioned about biodiversity. So do you believe in the direct link between animal welfare and human well-being?
Yes, I do. Because first we must understand that each and every one of our animals play an important component in our ecosystem. So no matter regardless of how dangerous they are still important in our ecosystem, which we highly depend on. So they play a good balance in prey and predator. So, and I believe it is our responsibility as humans to know and to be aware of their capabilities and to take better care of them. But that we all know that the ideal solution would be not killing them. So yeah.
I agree, because as you mentioned, it's really balanced in the environment, humans and animals living in harmony. Thank you so much. Naila, back to you.
Thank you, Christian. That was lovely answers. Thank you, Miss Antipolo. Hope to see you soon. Take care. So for our next delegate, we will have Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte. Everybody give a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Ms. Mila.
Hello. You're audible? Okay, go.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Daniel McKay Owana de la Cruz, representing one of the only organic municipalities here in the Philippines, Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte. And our chosen fauna is the sea urchin, scientifically known as Echinus, and locally known as swake or tuyong. They are animals that are typically small, spiny, and round in appearance. And a fun fact is they live in all of the Earth's oceans, from deep to shallow waters. And since they cannot swim, they live on the seafloor and use their spiky or spiny exterior as their main defense mechanisms. And sea urchins have about 950 species around the world. They can live up to 200 years old, and they range in size from 3 to 10 centimeters, and the largest species can reach up to 36 centimeters or 14 inches in diameter. And they also have various different types of colors. Sea urchins are rich in vitamins A, C, protein, dietary fiber, zinc, and beta-carotene, as well as omega-3 fatty acids. And they are known as a delicacy in Kauswagan, for it is very abundant in Kauswagan. And they are usually eaten in the morning, paired with rice or boiled bananas, because of its sweet, umami flavor. And fishing is one of the primary sources of food and livelihood in Kauswagan, along with organic farming, which is why we have chosen sea urchins as our fauna to promote their livelihood as well. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
I've never been to your area, so I wanted to know what are the other tourisms that you're willing to promote that are environmental tourisms in your city?
Well, actually, since Kauswagan is an organic municipality. We have an organic farm, and all the produce that is produced in the organic farm is actually sold in their own trading center. We also have a cocoa hub. They have various different coconut products like Coca-Cola and cocoa nectar. And also, it is in Kauswagan, Lanao del Norte, the longest boardwalk of Mindanao is located. It's
that's
about
amazing.
200 meters long.
Oh, that's so amazing.
Yes,
Thank you so much. I just want to say your hair looks lovely tonight. You're looking dazzling, love. You're
Thank
doing
you,
great.
Ella.
So let's move on to Sir Christian.
Thanks, Nayla. Miss Kauswagan, hi. How are you?
Hi, Sir Christian. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great as well. How's your Miss Philippines Earth experience so far?
Well, it's actually very overwhelming, and I'm just very grateful to be in this competition.
Congratulations, Miss Kauswagan. So my question is, because earlier you mentioned that sea urchins are also considered to be a delicacy, in
Yeah.
some areas. But vegans, some people who are vegans avoid using any animal-related products. How do you feel about veganism?
Well, I don't feel any negativity towards vegans, but I think that as people we have our own preferences. So if they prefer to eat seafood, fish, or meat, I think that we should also respect their own preferences.
That's very nice. No, bottom line is respecting everyone's preference. Thank you so much. Nayla,
Thank you so
back
much,
to you.
sir.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kauswagan. Take care. So for our next candidate, we have Lambayong Sultan Kudarat. Round of applause, everybody. Good evening. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm good. I'm feeling good. It's nice to see you. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. So are you, honey. Okay, go on.
Yes, but just let me share my screen now. Okay, I'll just do it this way, I guess. Hello again, everyone. Naimbagla na kayo amin. I am Claudia Loffler-Riman from the municipality, encapsulated with good leadership, Angat Lambayong province of Sultan Kudarat. My chosen fauna is summer cobra or Nacha samurai, which is a snake endemic to the southern Philippines. And it is also known for its erratic behavior and spraying assaults whenever it feels threatened. And the fact that they outgrow their skin for me is a symbolism of resiliency and boldness. And that is really the persona that I wanted to portray. I want to exude, to develop, and to mature even in the face of adversity. Same with the summer cobra. And of course, I also related snakes in general to the character of Medusa, and she is best known of having hair made of snakes, and for her ability to turn anyone she looked at to stone. And however, people judge her due to lack of knowledge about her backstory, because Medusa was actually raped, accused, and heavily cursed. And the message in that story is that knowledge and awareness can truly make a difference. That is why, like how we should change our perspective about Medusa, we should also change our view about snakes, because we should respect them as our co-creation. We should respect the nature in general. We should respect wildlife as a form of our respect to God. Thank you.
That was wonderful. I completely agree. Awareness is really part about educating people around you. So I'm curious to know what are the important life lessons that you carry and you think every single person should know.
Well, as for me, I think the biggest lesson that we should carry, of course, is to always look in the inside of things and in the good of everything. Because we shouldn't judge. I know this may sound cringe, but we should not judge the book by its cover. Because we should always like look into the inside, because on the inside we can see the experiences, the pain, and all of that. So in that we can all learn. We can use our knowledge to help that someone and to grow as a better person.
I really felt that. That was beautiful. I agree. I think there is beauty in every single person. Do not judge a book by its cover, but just try to express yourself and see the positivity in the situation. That was beautiful. Sir Christian, would you have any questions?
Yes, Neila, I agree. That was a very beautiful statement. Hello, Miss Lambayong. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing good, sir.
So, well, I appreciate, the life lessons that you shared with us earlier. But if you had a chance to change the world, probably, what would you do?
Well, that's a deep question, but yes, if I would have the chance to change the world, what I would do is to educate everyone about especially the environment, because now as we can see our environment is really damaged because humans have detrimented the environment a lot. So if we just have awareness about our environment, I think it will not turn this way. So yes, that's it, because we are liable for all of this. We are liable for all of the damage in our environment. So if we have an awareness beforehand, I think it will all be good and it will all turn better.
I agree, that's a very beautiful statement because you mentioned about awareness, and it's actually the key to influencing, positivity and, being optimistic about what the future holds for every one of us. Now, I'd like to be more specific about the fauna that you presented, about snakes. Do you think should animals be allowed to experience pain for medical research? Because there are studies that make use of snakes. But do you think animals should be allowed to experience pain for medical research?
Well, from my own perspective, experimenting on snakes or on animals in general is truly unethical. However, if the experiments output will be for the betterment of everyone, especially for the betterment of that specific species, then I think it should be allowed.
Thank you so much. Very nice. Back to you, Nayla.
Oh my goodness, Christian, those questions are amazing. I don't know how you come up with that, and I completely agree. That was a wonderful question. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sultan Kudarat. So we'll be moving on to our next candidate for the night. It is Municipality of Pateros.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, hi everyone. Hi Earth. I am Jasmine Claire Cruz Calma, representing the Balut capital of the Philippines, Pateros. So in case you're wondering what is the animal behind me, it is actually the Mindoro crocodile or the Philippine crocodile. It was once common in our country, but due to commercial exploitation and destruction of their habitat, they are now one of the critically endangered species with only 100 of them left, less than 100. And since 2001, killing crocodiles is illegal and is prohibited by law. However, I just found out recently that there is no localized law in helping preserve them. So I would like to share this opportunity to share that even though crocodiles are scary, you shouldn't be scared of them unless you threaten them. Okay, so because crocodiles, Philippine crocodiles play a vital role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. They ensure the healthy population of fish by eating the sick ones and leaving the healthy ones alive. And then they also prevent the dominance of a single fish species. And this may sound disgusting, but their feces actually provide nutritious food for the fish, as well as they can also be used as fertilizer. So if crocodiles would become extinct, it would greatly affect the ecological processes, and it will negatively affect the fish population as well as the livelihood of the fishermen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pateros. I find it really funny that you said this might be a little disgusting, but their feces
Yes.
is fertilizer. I completely agree with that because I was making my own aquaponic system, and in aquaponic we use the feces of fishes to make fertilizers for the plants. I'm curious to know how you plan on educating people, like what kind of platform you wanted to use so that you can get your message across, because I think it's very vital to get this message across.
Yes. Since I think almost everyone has internet access, I think it is important to be able to use social media for good and to be able to use it responsibly by sharing awareness on how crocodiles only affect people if we threaten their habitat. And I think it's also best to inform people on how we can conserve and preserve their habitat and not consider them as enemies, but rather friends that can help us heal the planet.
Definitely. I think it is a great reminder to everybody on this planet that it's not for humans, but rather it's for everybody here. So we should consider it their home too and give that amount of respect. And I'm curious to know what Christian has to say. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Patera.
I agree. Hi, Miss Pateros. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. A little bit nervous, but I'm doing great. How are you?
Don't be. Yes, you're doing great actually. So you mentioned about utilizing Miss Philippines Earth as a platform for you to relay the message across. So personally, what does being a Miss Philippines Earth candidate mean to you?
I think being a Miss Philippines Earth candidate means a lot to me because not only do I share my advocacy, I can also empower other people who are advocating for the welfare of animals, especially now that our planet is slowly on a destructive path, given that scientists gave us only 5 years to live. It will help them greatly if I use my voice as a candidate to share information on how we can do more as human beings to save the planet, because animals can't use their voice actually, because the main reason why the planet is on a destructive path is because of us, because we keep on exhausting our natural resources and not replenishing it back. Therefore, we are also destroying their habitat, leading to some animals facing extinction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you so
I
much.
agree because imagine the kind of influence that you can really extend, especially
Yes.
through social media. I have one more question, Ms. Pateros, because you mentioned that crocodiles are endangered species.
Yes, they are.
How do you think can we redefine animal care to improve animal welfare?
I think the best one is not to remove animals from their habitat and not make them as pets at home. I know you might need special papers for that, but the thing is, it shouldn't be legalized, because if you remove the animal from their habitat, it will affect their psychological and mental health. In the worst case scenario is they won't be able to adapt their new habitat.
Living free is the key. Enjoy life.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss
Thank you
Pateros.
so
Nila.
much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Miss Pateros. Okay, we are moving on to our last delegate for the night. Are you guys excited for the last delegate? I want you to comment on who you are supporting tonight. Hope you can like and share. And we are moving on to Miss San Jose del Monte City.
Hi, Nila. Good evening.
Good evening. You look amazing, honey. Good luck.
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Isabel Dawson. You can call me Sab, an eco-angel from the rising city of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. The fauna I choose is tokay gecko because it's already endemic. So, the tokay gecko, also called tuko in the Philippines, is the principal target of hunters. Besides telling people not to use the lizards for medicine, the Philippine government is reminding its citizens not to trap and sell them because it's against the law. And then the description of a scientific paper published back in 1998 with the journal Zhong Yao Kai, or the Journal of Chinese Medical Materials, says the heads and feet of geckos have obvious pharmacological action without any toxic or side effects. The article is in Chinese though, which is beyond shot. But health officials in the Philippines are now warning people not to rely on geckos as medical treatment for some serious conditions, including infection with HIV. The folkloric practice of using geckos or tuko as cure for AIDS and asthma persists to this day and is of serious concern. The Philippine Department of Health said in a statement, there is no basis that this practice cures ailments like AIDS or brings relief from symptoms of asthma. Thus, we do not recommend it for cure for any ailment. The demand for geckos as traditional medicine ingredients has reportedly led to rampant collection and trade, the government has said, and that's putting the gecko population under pressure. In recent years, Chinese demand for sea cucumbers harvested in the Philippines has pushed some species toward extinction. So I choose this because it's already endemic and I want to tell people to stop trapping them for using them as pet or making them for medicine, and one of its characteristic is camouflage, and I can relate to mine. I can describe myself as flexible, and being flexible is like being camouflage, yung marunong makibagay. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss San Jose del Monte City. I'm curious to know, since you were saying that, so what you're trying to say is that you do not advocate for medical use of endangered animals.
Yeah. I mean, I want to give an awareness or to tell people to stop using them as medicine for AIDS or asthma or anything.
Okay, I completely understand. Sir Christian, do you have anything you would like to say?
Yes, Nila. Well, hi, Miss San Jose del Monte.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening. And I see that your presentation was very data and information driven. How do you think that characteristic of yours would be very useful in your Miss Philippines Earth journey, being data driven and information driven?
So I can, being Miss Philippines Earth, we should be flexible and dapat may alam ka. Lahat alam mo dapat. Kasi tumatayo ka sa harap ng maraming tao, hindi bilang babae lang eh. Para kang isang libro na dapat you have physical appearance attractive. Pero once nabasahin ka ng maraming tao, dapat marami silang matututunan sa'yo. And kaming Miss Earth, may power kaming makapagbigay ng information para sa lahat, hindi para sa isa lang.
True, knowledge is power.
Yeah,
Definitely beauty
exactly.
and brains, diba? I have one more question about your fauna, because you mentioned earlier that it's the principal target of hunters. So, should animal cruelty be criminalized? And if so, what is a suitable punishment in your perspective?
In my perspective is, I think, hindi naman kailangan ipakulong, pero dapat bigyan ng warnings. Kasi hindi naman dapat na may buhay sila. Hindi man sila tao, pero may sarili silang buhay. Like, kanina nga, to be dapat, pag nabuhay ka, free ka. So, para rin silang tao, may pakiramdam din. So, I think hindi tama talaga na gawin silang paglaruan lang. And in fact, hindi pa sure kung nakaka-cure talaga. So, masasayang ang buhay kung wala lang din.
Agree. That was a very heartfelt answer, Ms. San Jose Del Monte. Thank you so much. Naila,
Thank you so much.
Ms. Del Monte, I have a question as well. I'm curious to know, with your advocacy, how do you plan to make the world or the Philippines a better place as a candidate of Miss Philippines Earth?
I think we should at least be positive in everything.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jose Del Monte. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
So there you have it, friends. The 5th batch of exceptional ladies competing for Miss Philippines Earth 2022. Let us know what you think by following and subscribing to our social media accounts, and we'd really love to hear from you. So this is just the beginning of another colorful journey for these ladies. So we have a lot of exciting events lined up leading up to the grand coronation. So be sure to get updated with the latest happening on Miss Philippines Earth 2022. On behalf of Carousel Production, this has been Naila Sherbaji. Thank you very much for joining us, and let us continue to save our planet. Good night.